Sometimes I'm hesitating because I feel like I'm super close to the camera.
Yeah, you were fine. You got a little close on that last take, but not. It wasn't horrible.
Okay. Okay.
So, okay.
Ready? Yeah. We're on a hunt today for something that can be pretty easily overlooked, but at one point in time was, where's this guy going? Not even paying attention. But about 120 years ago, were so ubiquitous in the city of Portland that you couldn't walk 25 feet without seeing them. We're on a hunt for Portland's horse rings. We're here in one of Portland's oldest neighborhoods, Ladd's Addition. It was laid down in 1891 by a former mayor of Portland, William Ladd. Most of this neighborhood was developed between 1905 and 1930. Now, unfortunately, Ladd died in 1893, so he wasn't able to see any of this amazing architecture or these beautiful rose gardens. Something else he wasn't able to see was the rise of the automobile. In 1893, horses dominated the streets. But in 1905, there were only 218 registered cars in the whole state. There was no Uber, no bike lanes, no light rail. Everyone shuffled through the city using horses. If you think about that, we have a huge problem with parking now. But how do you park something that doesn't have a transmission and doesn't have a brake? The only way to do that is to tie it up. Horse rings can be hard to find. Many of them were removed over the years due to safety concerns. Back in their heyday, however, the city required that a horse ring was placed every 25 feet. Can you imagine that? Every 25 feet, there were horse rings. 23, 24, 25, and look, there it is. Whoa. Perfect, it's right here, just as predicted. Too bad I screwed it up. It means horses every 25 feet. 25. Whoa. Okay, let's redo that. Okay, so here's a horse ring in all of its glory. Can you imagine sidewalks plastered with these things every 25 feet and horses attached to each one of them? Now, we're not talking about individual horses because at the time, people didn't really own their own horses for the most part, not like we have car ownership these days. But think about all of the delivery vehicles and all of the police horses or any sort of public transportation that we have now. It was all horses. There were even horse-drawn rail cars on Portland streets at the time. So there were thousands or hundreds of thousands of horses in this town and very few automobiles. Interest in the rings rebounded in the mid-2000s when a local artist named Scott Wayne, Indiana, started tying up plastic horses to the horse rings. After Indiana started his art project, other people from the community got involved. At one point, there were hundreds of plastic horses floating around the city, tied to horse rings wherever they could be found. There was even a documentary made about the tiny horses called It's a Ring Thing. It came out in 2007 and documents Scott Wayne, Indiana and his tiny horse project. Go check it out. I'll leave a link in the description. While there aren't any horses left in Portland, there are still horse rings if you know where to look. If you're interested in finding some for yourself, I will leave information on how to do that down below. Also, if you like this video, please click like and subscribe. And if you have any suggestions for future topics, please leave it down below in the comments. Thanks for watching. So back in the day, Portland used to write the names of the streets into the sidewalks so that you could tell where you were. Because I don't know why, maybe there weren't street signs, but also on some of these sidewalks you can see the imprint of the contractor who put the concrete down and also the year that it was installed. So you can date the construction around you, or at least the construction of some of the sidewalks, by actually looking at the sidewalk itself.